Hey there, so I'm making this video as a tribute to a great many things. My little rest in peace video. This is a rest in peace message to the once known me and the patterns and belief systems that I had bought into for so many years of my life. Though I carried great understanding about how all of it was for my growth, I was buying into a lot of old patterns and societal structures that did not pertain to me. This is also a rest in peace to my mom, who passed away when she was just a few years older than me. She was 49, or just about to be, and she carried the same sorts of wisdom, aka neurodivergence, if you will, of an overactive mind, and had no idea about spiritual things and the energetic world that we live in. So the thoughts became way too much for her to handle. She definitely didn't have the wisdom to understand what was really going on at a spiritual level, and those voices got the best of her. She didn't want to become an angry person like the generations before her, like her mom and her mom's mom. And so it overwhelmed her. She had no idea how to make sense of any of it, and she checked out early. And so this is a rest in peace to her and to the fragments of her that she left behind that rippled out into my life, because that's the way this all works. And I understand that as I have put to rest all of the patterns that kept her frozen in actions and deeds and thoughts and feelings that left her in a soul trap, I actually cleansed it for both of us. I put all of it to rest. So I set her soul free as well as my own. And this is also a rest in peace message to my grandmother and her mother, because they were both very wise beings, but they stayed stuck at a certain phase of anger and rage, and they used their high levels of intelligence to ensnare others or even sue anybody that they could think of, because they were intelligent enough to fight their own cases and win, and they were bitter and angry at all of the life experiences they had had, because they didn't understand anything about what I know to be true about stuck energy and karmic ripples and being ensnared within a soul trap, if you will. So they poured forth the harshest aspects of a very rage-filled feminine energy. I mean, my great-grandmother ended up even pouring boiling, scalding water on my grandmother when she was younger, because she was really beautiful and she was really bitter, and grew up saying that she didn't even want to know her daughter, which was my mother, and definitely didn't want to know anything about me, because she was afraid that she was being manipulated and used by my grandmother trying to introduce us into her life, because she was stuck in a very dark place. And I understand that I visited those ripples as well. I didn't become angry and bitter, but I could see that that energy was trying to sneak in through some of the processes of thoughts that would run through my mind when I was becoming more aware of what was happening. You know, before you get to the place of peace and acceptance and learning the gifts of alchemy, there's an energy that wants to encourage you to be a toxic feminine that has a false sense of power and control and domination and manipulation. And I could see how that was trying to sneak in just based on the stage that I was at, you know. I quickly, I mean very quickly, before even acting in such ways that would depict that energy, I would identify it and say, oh, no, 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 no. I am not choosing that toxic pathway. That is not unconditional love. That is not the ripple that I'm here to leave to my children. 2 daughters, by the way. I just knew that I was being asked to touch on that energy and allow myself to feel the power of it trying to also ensnare me in another way of trapping the soul. And so I know that by processing all of those emotions in the healthy way that I did, I've also set them free to a certain degree. I believe my grandmother is still on this planet. I'm not certain of that. My great-grandmother, she's definitely has passed on. But I know that when I do the work that I do here and now, I am taking it way further back than just those generations. And I don't believe in just the 7. I believe that it goes back as far as the energy has been rippling out. And even to those that I'm not technically related to through the bloodline, I understand the web of energy that we all are, and that when I do things for the me that sits here, I'm doing them for a fragment of all of existence, and it ripples out to everywhere in the world, ripples out to different dimensional mirror dimensions, if those are things that exist. And it does a lot more to put those distorted energies and those overlays to rest. And I am beyond grateful for that. And knowing what I know about that gives me the fire and the passion and the wherewithal to face anything, doesn't matter what it is, and bring it back to a peaceful place. And I'm just eternally grateful. And I want to say rest in peace to all of those fragments that have been trapped for God knows how long. And I love you guys. Thanks for listening.